Hi, everybody. I'm Leslie Allen, and you are listening to Brothers on Tennis.
Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? This is your boy Isaac.
And this is your boy Bryce.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. And folks, we've got another week of good tennis for you. Man, Bryce, there were like a ton of tournaments last week. And all of them were pretty, I'd say they were pretty good. What were your thoughts, man?
It was good. I am still kind of in this mode that I'm so happy that tennis is back.
Yes.
That I'm watching two scrubs play, and I'm glad about it. But I'm really glad it's back, and of course I was really, really happy to see Roger Federer back this week. I mean, that it just reminded me of what we've been missing since he's been gone. The class and the style and the shots, and none of the rest of these punks got nothing like that.
I like how you said that. Exactly.
I'm serious. They don't. I mean, he is. There's a reason why Roger is different from everybody else, and it's not just the way he carries himself. A lot of it has to do with his actual tennis and his style and the way it looks like he floats on the court. And nobody has that transition game and net game that he has. I mean, Roger may not be the best volleyer, like just stand there and doubles at the net, but when you talk about approach shot and in a singles match and getting to the net and owning it, there's nobody better.
Exactly. No one better. No one. He is as far as just the aesthetics of playing the game of tennis. Like I said, I don't have the history of anybody, really, really early in the game, but he by far has the best looking game that I've ever seen. The flow of it and it just looks smooth, man. It just looks smooth. So yeah. I miss him. And the minute I saw him back on court, it was just like, I got chills when he was walking onto the court. I was like, yes, there you are. We missed you.
and real quick to the folks that are out there, we see you, Miles and Greer and Paul and everyone. We're going to do our thing here for a little bit. And then, if you're interested, we'll invite you guys up at the end to chum it up with us a little bit. But Isaac, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to say, because before we get to the tournaments, I have some hot topics that I want to bring up for us to talk about real quick. But I wanted to see if you had anything first.
No, nothing that I can't mention during the closing. So yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, all right. And I'm just going to go down the list here, and it's just about 3 or 4 things, but I wanted to mention. Number one, congratulations to Taylor Townsend. She had her baby boy this weekend. Awesome. Named him Aiden Aubrey.
Okay.
And that nice name, yeah. So, she looked to be doing fine. I mean, well enough to do, post on social media. So, we hope that, she's happy with child now, and that she's able to, if she wants, return, to the tennis tour, and just wishing her all the best.
Absolutely. Kudos to you, Taylor. That is wonderful news.
The next thing, which wasn't such good news, but, we continue to roll with the punches here, is that Kim Clijsters unfortunately had to withdraw from both the Miami and the Charleston tournament. She had received wild cards to both of those, but she stated, and I didn't even know this, I guess she had COVID in January, and she said that really kind of impacted her overall training schedule. So she's not quite where she wants to be able to compete. So she's going to take the time that she needs. And but I was really looking forward to seeing her. But I want to see her when she's right.
Exactly. Yeah, I hadn't heard that she had COVID, but I did hear that she pulled out of both of the tournaments. So yeah, it was definitely sad to hear that, but at the same time, it's like you said, we want 100% Clijsters. We don't want her to get out there and potentially injure herself if she's not 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also wanted our listeners to be aware this past weekend, we released episode number 102, which was an interview with the legendary Leslie Allen. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know who Leslie Allen is, please look her up. She covers that span between really Althea Gibson and Zina Garrison. So if you thought that Zina Garrison was the next African-American women tennis champion after Althea Gibson, you're wrong. It was Leslie Allen, and she has a great story to tell. And Isaac, I mean, I know we both really enjoyed that interview.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was really awesome, not only just to hear her story, but hear her tell it. And Leslie's a character. She is awesome. And we had a lot of fun during that interview. And definitely, if you don't know about Leslie, go out there and listen to that episode and do a little bit of research, because she, too, is one of those kind of unsung heroes. And we want to make sure that we're celebrating our sisters and our queens who have paved the way for, again, your Venuses and your Serenas and the modern day folks that we know today.
Right. Absolutely. So please go out and listen. Episode number 102 for Brothers on Tennis. Just a couple more things. One, Donald Young came across my feed this week, and I was wondering, why is Donald Young coming across my feed? And apparently he is playing in a challenger in Cleveland. Who knew that Cleveland had anything to do with tennis anymore?
Right.
And so he's there, and so is Mr. Keys. Bjorn Fantangelo,
yeah.
They are both there. So shout out to Tennis in Ohio. I didn't know that we had anything there outside of the Western and Southern.
Yeah, same here. That's surprising to hear. I did not know that. But yeah, hopefully the fellas represent, and somebody comes through there and snags that title.
Right.
Yeah, so come on, Donald.
And the next thing, just real quick, I wanted to mention is, and I only have two left, and then I promise we will get to the tournaments. Rublev made a very interesting comment, and it just kind of caught me by surprise. And basically, he had stated that he doesn't yet have enough money to buy an apartment. He said, people have to remember he had to pay for 5 months of his whole team while there was no tennis going on last year. Now, I don't know where he's looking to buy an apartment at.
Dubai.
Even so, this man won 5 tournaments last year.
I know. 5, well, close to 500s. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, was in the year-ending championship where they get that nice bonus for even making it there. So either, he needs some money management strategies or he's paying his team too much.
I was about to say, I need to be a part of his team. That's what that sounds like.
Right. I mean, like, how you can't afford an apartment?
Exactly.
Granted, I don't know what kind of apartment he's looking at.
Right. Well, remember, he's young and he was in that little boy band. So, he got them, he might be trying to live that life.
Well, I don't think he's going to get a whole lot of sympathy from people.
No.
Thinking he don't have enough money to get an apartment. All that money he done made.
Exactly.
Millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, Rublev, shame on you, friend. Come on now.
Anyway, maybe, and you never know. Maybe I wasn't in the room when he was being interviewed, so maybe he was completely joking.
I sure hope so.
I'm not sure, but
Wow. Yeah.
Now, here's the last thing that I want to bring up, and this is about Alexander Sasha Zverev.
All right.
And, I tolerate him. I've been tolerating him. I mean, he got a little bit of talent. He done a few things, I mean, yeah, he's supposedly part of this next generation, but he came out and he stated that, oh, I like Roger Federer and all, but I made it to the finals of the U.S. Open and he didn't play at all last year and he's still ranked higher than me. Now, and then he said something like the ranking system is jacked up. So just my initial reaction reading that, I was like, okay, number one, we know why the ranking system isn't how it normally is. There's a reason for that. Right? There's a reason. And we understand that this is a temporary situation, right? This wasn't a change that they made to the ATP ranking system that is going to be like this from now to the end of time. It was for a period of time because we were in a global pandemic.
Exactly.
Okay? So there's a reason why. Number two, I don't appreciate you using Roger Federer as an example because you should never complain about where your ranking is in compared to Roger Federer because there's a very good chance you may never be 1/20th of the champion that Roger Federer is. And I didn't just pull that fraction out of the air. I meant that. I know people are saying, Zverev, yeah, he's a future champion. I don't know. Because all I remember was Dominic Thiem at the U.S. Open was down 2-0 and on a bad foot and decided to win and beat him, okay? That's what I remember. And all I know is if Tsitsipas get that weak backhand together between him, Medvedev, Thiem, Sinner, Rublev, heck, Aslan Karatsev, there may not be no room for Zverev to get a Grand Slam title. And it just, to me, why are you complaining about one of these pandemic adjustments again, Mr. Don't you have a baby coming that you need to be preparing for? Don't you have a domestic abuse case coming up that you got to deal with?
See, that's probably what it is. He's probably trying to take attention away from them things. That's why he coming to Fed because he know that'll get attention.
Well, is he coming for Fed because Fed's management company Top 8 just dropped him? Mr. Coronavirus for Everyone tour participant. Mr. Oh, I'm going to quarantine, but the next week you're going to catch me in the club turning up.
Turned up. Yes, sir. That'd be him.
I am really tired of Alexander Zverev. Ain't nobody checking for him. And Isaac, I don't know.
I'm actually shocked that Nick Kyrgios hasn't come out with anything. Because Nick be putting Sasha on blast. He be putting everybody on blast, but he particularly likes putting Sasha on blast. So
he must not have heard it yet.
Yeah, I don't
have heard it yet.
Exactly. So he probably hasn't heard it yet, and is still kind of waiting to see. Because Nick is the spokesperson for Roger. If you come at Roger, you're gonna have to deal with Nick Kyrgios. So. It's ridiculous. I mean, let's call it what it is. And I think we've already talked about the fact that we kind of lumped Zverev in that same category as Djokovic as it relates to common sense, which they ain't got much. It shows a lot of just poor form on his part to come out there like that. Again, you don't come at Roger. You don't come at Roger. That's
don't even use him as an example.
No, not at all. You leave his name out your mouth. His name should not be on your tongue if you got some sharp you need to say. That's not the one that you try and use as an example there. So yeah, that's. But again, it's Zverev. So there you have it. I mean, it's not like it's something that, we wouldn't expect.
Right. So anyway, I'm sorry to get this episode off to such a. I read that like probably just a couple hours before we came on air, and I. Anyway, so let's talk about the tennis from last week, right? So we had what 3 men's tournaments last week, and we had 2 women's tournaments last week, and let's start with the ladies, okay? All right. Isaac, let's start over in Guadalajara, right?
All right.
Where we had a champion, Zverev Tormo, playing against a resurgent Genie Bouchard. Under what rock did they find her? Where did she come from?
I know, right? Where's Howard? Oh, he ain't in the room yet, huh? Because you know he be loving him some Genie Bouchard, but you could tell that. Well, listen, Genie Bouchard has been actually playing some good tennis of late. Even after the pandemic, she was one of the first ones to get out there and try and get her game sharp. And you know, she had all that time where she had the case against the USTA and blah, blah, blah. So I think she's finally gotten to that point where she's like, look, I'm really ready to get back into my tennis. And she's been doing that since last year. And I feel like this is yet another, you know, really good result for her. It shows good progress. I mean, you could tell that this was her first final in a very long time because she just, you know, I feel like the nerves kind of got to her a bit and she wasn't able to pull out her best tennis. But still, I feel like it was a really good result for her to be able to make it to a final. She took out like McNally on the way and Cochiretto, who is, you know, really, you know, kind of coming up with her game.
Props on that pronunciation too.
Oh, did you like that?
I liked it because that was going to be the main reason I didn't talk about her. I'm sorry. All right.
Right. Well, so, you know, I get some of their name right sometimes. Now, other ones, it might be tight. But but no, I was really happy for Jeannie. I thought she did a really good job. And like I said, she didn't quite show up for the final. I think the nerves got to her a little bit. So Zverev Tormo was like, nah, chick, this is a final.
I'm not trying to hear that.
You ain't trying to hear that. You ain't trying to put no nerves and get no title now. But I felt that was a good showing for her. So that was pretty cool. What were your thoughts on her run and just overall?
Well, you know, she's in love. You know, she's with Mason Rudolph from the NFL.
That's
you know,
right.
I guess he finally recovered from that concussion. And she, you know, I have no issues with Genie Bouchard other than her game is basic. And people know her game, and so
right.
You know she may be able to stunt on people like in this 250 level tournament on clay in Guadalajara, you know, where nobody is. I still don't know if she's ready for Showtime though.
No.
I don't see her against an Osaka, against a Muguruza, against a Sabalenka. I see her getting painted off the court with them, you know. So
exactly.
But you got to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere. So this was a very good result for her. She got a little coin in her pocket, and you know, we'll look for her and see what she does in Miami.
Right. And let's be clear. For me, Bouchard is probably a good top 50. She will never, in my opinion, get back to the form where she was, she like made a Wimbledon semi or final or whatever it was that she made. Yeah, no, I don't see that for Genie Bouchard because like you said, her game is very basic. And I think that there are a lot of other females out there who can play her game much better than she can.
Right. Yeah.
She tries to be a power player and she just doesn't have that level of power that an Osaka and, you know, those types of folks have in their repertoire. Sabalenka, you know, hell, even a Rybakina and hush your mouth, Paul. You know, but she tries to play that game. And again, there are just women out there that can definitely do it better than her. So I think if Jeannie can get back into like the top 50, I feel like that's really good for her. Maybe even the top 30. I don't know if I see top 20 for her though.
No, right. Yeah. Now, for the tournament where the real pros were playing, they were in Dubai.
Yes.
And as a reminder, we had there as top seeds Svitolina, even though she wasn't there but for a minute, Pliskova, Sabalenka, Kvitova, Kiki Bertens, Belinda Bencic, Azarenka, Swiatek. And, we actually had, and I just want to bring this back up because I thought it was so funny. In the quarterfinals, we had a return to the matchup of Sabalenka versus Muguruza. And Sabalenka was talking that noise. She was like, okay, she got me the last time. I'm looking, this is the rematch that I wanted. And Muguruza was like, come here, let me give you what you want.
Bring it.
Let me give you what you want. And took her out in 3 sets, gave her a whole biscuit in the third set.
Yes, she did.
And really, kind of had a really strong tournament. Is there anybody hotter on the women's tour right now than Muguruza? She took this title.
Yeah, right now, there's, of course, the only person you can think of would be Osaka, but of course she hasn't played. But yeah, outside of Osaka, I'm not putting anybody above Muguruza right now because Muguruza is putting it on some sisters. She's like, girl, ain't nobody scared of you. Ain't nobody scared of you. You want some of this? Come get some of this. What?
Right.
Yeah.
And I just want to call out, also in the quarterfinals, Jill Teichman was like, don't nobody beat me 3 times in a row. Coco Gauff, stay in school.
Right? She was like, listen, I'm going to give you some of this lefty swing for real. Because I'm tired of you, little girl.
Right. Took her out 3-3. But look, let me tell you this. Coco Gauff still making the quarterfinals of a 1,000 level tournament. She just continues to just go up the rankings, and we're seeing the maturity come in her game. I just couldn't be more proud of Coco Gauff than I am right now.
I absolutely agree with you, Bryce. And let's be clear, she, there was, could have been an opportunity for her to even be in that final because again, you had that Krajikova who made the final against Muguruza, who took out Teichman. So I still feel like you said, I feel like she's making really good, steady progress. Also, happy birthday to her. She turned 17 this past Saturday.
Sure did.
It's just really great stuff. So I like the progress that she's making, and I'm just looking forward to seeing her continue the maturity and continue the growth. And if you want to talk about somebody else who is growing as far as their game goes, somebody else you need to give kudos to for making it to the quarters is Jessica Pagula.
Yes. And you know what? I was just getting ready to bring that up because 2 other players that have been pretty hot are not only Pagula, but Elise Mertens. And they met in the quarterfinals. But let's just talk about Pagula's path for just a second. Okay. Yes. So she met Shadova in the first round and gave her a whole biscuit and a breadstick. Then she met double specialist Milanovic, who still ain't gotten over Dominique Thiem yet, and gave her a breadstick and a whole biscuit. And then she got Miss Karolina Pliskova, who she has been owning, and she gave her, the number 2 seed, a bagel and a whole biscuit.
She was like, ain't nobody scared of you.
Nobody. Now, although Pagula ended up taking that bagel from Mertens in the third set, in the quarterfinals, Pagula must be trying to come for somebody's spot on the Olympics team.
She must be, because she is showing out this season. She's just like, listen, I had me a good little run last year in World Team Tennis, and my game is feeling right. I'm about to bring it. And I'm going to try and get me a spot. Don't sleep on her, y'all. Trying to tell you. And quietly, this to me, even the match against Mertens was a clear example of kind of what happened against Jim Brady in the U.S. Open. I feel like she just ran out of steam. I feel like she hit the wall in the second set of that match against Mertens. Otherwise, I think she would have got through that.
Yeah, well, like we said, this was the big girls tournament here.
Exactly.
This is where they were playing big ball.
That's right.
And once again, Muguruza proved that right now she queen. As long as Osaka stay home.
Exactly. As long as Osaka stay home.
Because Osaka, she'll spot you a couple of match points and still come back. So she knows about that. So let's go ahead and bounce over to the men.
Yeah, let's do that.
3 tournaments there, and we'll start with now, here's the funny thing. they were actually all 250 level tournaments, but they felt like 3 different levels of tournaments based upon who was entered.
Yeah.
So the lowest one that we'll consider was the one that was in Santiago, Chile.
Chile. I was about to say the Chilean one definitely felt like a 250.
Right. And you know what? Props to Garin, who is from Santiago. He won his home country tournament.
Yeah, that's always a major, major feat. I think they had said it had been, I can't remember who they said or how long it had been since that had happened, but was it Fernando Gonzalez?
Fernando Gonzalez, yeah.
So, and I mean, and that's a while. That's, he was playing back with James Blake and them. So, for Garin to be able to come in and get that title. And again, Bagnes was coming in with some, I tell you what, talk about somebody who flipped the script from week to week. Cause I wasn't that impressed with him the week before when Tiafoe took him out. But when he came back out this time, he was like, listen, I got game. Don't sleep on my game.
Yeah.
And he smacked Tiafoe around and was like, get on out of here. And proceeded to snatch up on Djiri as well as Delbonis, who are really good clay court players as well.
Yeah,
so I was impressed. That was a good run of his. And in truth, he was in it until those last 2 games. That last game, you could tell he tightened up.
Right.
He got tight. And but yeah, he was fighting, dude. That was a really good match. I watched that match. I was like, all right, go on, Yeoman.
And you know what? And that was one of those matches that I just kind of had on TV, and I was just going to kind of keep one of my eyes on it, and ended up like you, just really watching that match. There. Now the next tournament that would have probably been second in line for me was the one in Marseille, France.
Yeah.
And this is the one where we had Medvedev and Tsitsipas and Khachanov and Humbert and Sinner and Nishikori and Davidovich Fokina, who is just got recently added to my JV squad.
Oh, you put him on the squad. Nice.
JV,
right.
Right. And Nishioka. Let me tell you what, this was a very, very interesting tournament because, you had a lot of people coming back here. You had Tsonga in there where, unfortunately he got injured.
Oh, hurt my heart.
Yeah, again. You had Luca Pouille back until Tsitsipas showed him what time it was. We've been really following this Matthew Ebden. He's been clowning so far, but he got hurt too. But at least he waited to get hurt in the semifinals. But I tell you what, we had some surprising results here because talk to me about Hebert.
Yeah. I would see. I call him Hebert with the good hair. Because he always got the man bun, he got the long hair and everything. I have always liked Pierre Hebert, rather. He's strong on the double squad. He and is it Mahut? Not Mahut, but Mahut. Make for an incredible doubles team. So I've always followed him, and he's sort of been my low key. All right, let's see what you can do. And he's been trying his best to get out on the singles court. It just seems like doubles has been just pulling him back in because he's so good at doubles. But I think he's finally getting himself together to really to deliver, with his singles game. And I think even Medvedev even shared in the afterwards that he's just like, this guy should be, playing in more finals than this.
And what he's got going for him is, and this is kind of going back to the whole Federer conversation again. You don't have a lot of men playing that very aggressive, attacking net style of play.
Right.
So, it looks like these people, they don't always know how to play against that anymore because they don't play against it a lot. Everybody wants to be this aggressive baseliner.
Right.
And he's got a good, his double skills. He's got a great serve. He has a great return of serve. His ground strokes are decent enough to hang from the back. And when he gets to the net, he has great hands. So I still just have this feeling like I don't know that we're going to consistently see him do it on the singles court, but he's somebody that, you got to kind of keep your good eye on because if you're not on your game, he can take you out.
I agree.
And obviously he had gotten the word on Tsitsipas' backhand.
Yes, he did.
I
was
mean,
like, yep, come in on that all day.
I mean, because he was on Tsitsipas' backhand like Bashvili was on his wife. I mean, they are. He did not let air come off of that backhand. I'm telling you, he didn't let air come off of that backhand.
You're so wrong, dude.
We're gonna get to that though in a minute. But the news for the week in Marseille was that we knew that Medvedev, come today, was now going to be the number 2 player in the world. And how sweet it must have felt to have won the tournament going into that.
Exactly. Yeah, it was exactly. And I mean, how nice to be able to at least, kind of put some sprinkles on that cake by winning a title to get to number 2 in the world. I mean, that to me had to have felt good for him, because it would have been pretty wrecked if he had, got number 2 and then lost. That doesn't feel very well. Feel very good.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but no, he got a hold of Air Bear. He was like, "Nah, son, this no." Do you not see that number 2 that's about to be on my ranking? No.
He's like, I'm a real singles player.
Exactly.
Real singles player right here,
Exactly.
So anyway, congratulations to Medvedev. Wonderful win. Congratulations at being number 2. And let's see if, he can use that number 2 ranking as a stepping stone to even better results.
Absolutely.
And we will talk later about what that number 2 seeding means to the French Open draw. Keep your good eye on that. So the last tournament we have for the men, which, I probably was the top one, was the one in Doha. And the reason why it was the top one, because it was the one that Roger Federer decided that he was going to make his return. And, he had a bye in the first round, and then we saw that he was going to be playing Daniel Evans, who had been his practice partner leading up to the tournament. And, so many times when you have that whole practice partner situation, that a lot of times helps the lower ranked player.
For sure.
But, underneath, his gear, Roger Federer had his Arya Stark shirt on and was like, no, not today. And I don't know how Daniel Evans felt about, playing Roger in his first tournament in 13 months and still couldn't beat him. Roger had a great performance. We saw a little rust, but the serve was looking good. That whole net game was looking good. That backhand was looking good. What did you think? How did he look to you?
I thought he looked really good, man. It was really good to see Roger in full flight, just playing, Roger tennis, all the aesthetics and everything that come along with it. It was beautiful to see. And in truth, it was really nice to see against Daniel Evans, who plays a very similar style as well. I like Daniel Evans, and I like his game. I like again the fact that they've got those one-handed backhands, and they know how to chip, and just that creativity that they can muster with those different shots. I thought it was a great match, and I thought Fed looked really, really good, to the point where I was like, all right, Fed might just be able to snatch this title.
Right.
I was feeling it.
Right. And when he came up against Balashvili in the next round, he stepped out and took the first set 6-3. But Nicholas was like, I know how to fight back now.
I know how to fight, period, apparently.
I know how to put these hands on you.
Right.
So that's what he did.
Yes,
and
he did.
He ended up edging out Roger Federer 7-5 in the third set. But, what I was really excited about was that Roger was like, look, I had no expectations coming into this tournament. The fact that I even won a round, I'm super excited about that. They asked him, afterwards, how long did he think it was going to take him to get over this loss from Balashvili? And he was like, I'm already over it. This is no big deal. Anything that I do now is just practice for Wimbledon. I know, people, we want him to win. We want him to win titles and stuff. He don't care.
Right.
Everything that he's doing is leading to Wimbledon. So,
agree. I think he is, like you said, Bryce, I think his biggest thing is get right for Wimbledon, get right for the Olympics. Those are the two major things on Roger Federer's mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, we did have a couple of other surprising results, this week. I don't know about you, but I was a little surprised that in the quarterfinals, Taylor Fritz took out Shapovalov.
Yeah. Well, but they had that good U.S. Open fight. And I think Fritz was trying to just get back at Shapovalov. He was like, no, you got me that time, but I think I'm going to put something on you this time. So.
Yeah, but Fritz is American, so I didn't expect for him to... I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm just not used to American men coming through, so
Actually, getting some revenge or doing something. Yeah.
Right, I mean, not since like Agassi or something like that, So
I tell you what, though, kudos to Fritz, like I said, for him to beat not only Shapovalov, but beat Goffin the round before.
Exactly.
That's actually pretty good for Taylor. Like you said, sometimes, we the Americans are shaky, but I'd say for him that was a good result in my opinion. Very good result. And yeah, he got spanked up by Vasilashvili though. But he brought that power on Taylor. Like, listen.
Look, he was in punch mode at that point. He was in punch out mode. He was like Mike Tyson punch out. He was like, come get these hands.
Come get these hands because they are what? Flowing.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I'm telling you.
I'm sorry.
He put them hands on him and sent him away with a breadstick. It's like, oh, yeah. You better remember you're American.
Right. Oh, so anyway, moving on.
Yes, sir.
It's that kind of night, apparently.
It really is.
How weird was it that Rublev not only had a bye, but then he had 2 walkovers to take him directly to the semifinals, where RBA was sitting there waiting on him because, first of all, I was so proud of RBA for once again taking out Opelka, as he should.
Yes.
And then Rublev. But when he took out Dominic Thiem, I was like, that's a really good win.
That was a good win, for sure. Very good win. Yeah. But it set him up because it gave him that confidence.
Yeah, exactly. And I definitely think, obviously, that Rublev was hurt by not having, any matches going in against Rublev, who had had 3 really strong wins. He just wasn't match ready for RBA.
Yeah. RBA was like, yeah, son, I got energy, and you's coming out the gates. That ain't a good sign.
No. But at least Rublev, along with our boy Karatsev, they took the doubles title.
Took that doubles. What is that about? All right, 2 singles players getting up in the doubles draw and spanking it up.
And let's not forget, Karatsev had a nice first win round. He took out the brother, unfortunately. But then he took Dominic Thiem to 3 sets before he got that whole biscuit in the third.
Exactly. Dominic Thiem was not today, son.
No, he was like, I don't believe the hype. No. No. So, but in that final, we had RBA against Vasilashvili. Yeah. And once again, he still had his gloves on. I'm just saying.
Oh, Lord.
He still had his gloves on.
And, he was throwing the hands, man.
Right. RBA didn't put enough Vaseline on his jaw.
Got caught, right?
Right. Them punches were connected.
Yep, he connected on him. He definitely did in that second set. Gave him a whole biscuit and was like, see ya.
Sure did. But I don't think anybody expected him to win. That tournament. So good win for him. He's definitely in fighting shape right now.
That he is, and he will need to be, because I don't know if you heard, or I don't know if they put that out there loudly enough, but apparently, from based on where he's from, if he actually gets convicted of those domestic violence charges, he
Mm-hmm.
will go to jail for 3 years.
Yep. Yep. Very, very well. And so, maybe he'll be in jail right there next to Zverev.
Well, there you go.
We got all these abusers out here.
See, then that's exactly where they need to be. But
Right.
with that said,
let's talk about the tournaments for this week, so we can bring some people up. And get their thoughts on this great tennis going on.
Right.
So
that's right.
So this week we have 2 women's tournaments and we have 2 men's tournaments, and really let's start with the women, because there's a 250 and then there's a 500. The 250 is in Monterrey, Mexico. The 500 is in St. Petersburg, Russia. And all I'm going to say is when in the 250, your top seed is Sloane Stephens, and the 500 is Alexandrova, there's really not a whole lot going on this week on the women's side.
I think the ladies did their thing in Dubai, and they were like, "Okay, we good now.
We'll
get ready for Miami. So we'll let y'all B squads go at it."
Right. We have the return of Coco Vandeweghe here at the Monterey. She got beaten the first round last week, and she's going up against Leylah Fernandez, who's going to put that lefty swing and Canadian maple syrup all over her in the first round. I'm just putting it out there. In the 250 tournament, you have, in terms of the top 8 seeds, you have Sloane Stephens, you have Podoroska, you have Shang Sai, you have Buskova, you have Heather Watson, Blinkova, Sorribes Tormo, and Ann Lee. Ann Lee is actually an eighth seed.
Ann Lee, keep your good eye out on her.
Exactly. So literally anybody could win this tournament.
Yes, agree.
Because Sloane got a lucky loser in the first round, and if she real lucky.
But quietly, who's gonna be waiting for her in the second round is Leylah, and Leylah be like, he's like, Sloane, bring yourself here, girl. Canadian maple syrup is ready.
Exactly.
We might have to get breadsticks off of that. So yeah, man, that's not looking good for her.
No, and really, the 500 level tournament in St. Petersburg doesn't look much better. I mean,
no.
Your top 8 seeds are Alexandrova, Kudermetova, Ferro, Kuznetsova. I mean, blast from the past. Pavlyuchenkova, Ostapenko, Medlanovic, and Kasatkina. So
watch out for Kasatkina. Watch out for her. I feel like she's been playing she's getting her game back together.
Okay.
We'll see what she got to bring, but yeah.
It'll be very interesting to see if she meets Ostapenko in the quarterfinals. That could be a very interesting matchup.
Agree. Agree.
So that's the ladies. Don't mean to shortchange them, but most of the big women are not playing this week. Now on the men's side,
right, we
have 2 500 level tournaments. Both of them look pretty good. We'll go ahead and start in Mexico, where we have. And to be honest with you, I was surprised that the Mexico tournament pulled such a good entry list.
I agree.
They have top 8 seeds. They have Tsitsipas, Alexander Zverev, Schwartzman, Raonic, Dimitrov, Fonini, FAA, and Casper Ruud.
Yeah. And don't sleep on some of them first round matches. They've got some like Korda versus Marin Cilic. That's going to be a good one. I tell you what, who will lose they slot and they spot on my squad if they don't get it done in that first round is FAA. My goodness. You better get that victory, son. And
you know that they are actually playing right now. If that match is not over, I'm going to take a look right now. Take a look, because I might have to find me a new B squatter if he ain't get it done. Yeah, and the score is so Felix looks like he's about to win. He took the first set 6-3. They're in a tiebreaker, and he's up 6-4 in the tiebreaker. All right, very good. But I agree with you. Yeah, he would. Right. Squad positioning was at risk for that one. But I tell you who needs to watch out is Alexander Zverev. Because in the first round, he's got that 17-year-old Alcaraz.
Yep, that's right. Yeah. That's that new kid. He's trying to do some things, and he was looking to get him a good scout. And
right.
Sasha always good for one.
So, what do you think? Who do you think may come through in this tournament?
It's hard to say, man. I don't know who to call on here. I would think that it should be Tsitsipas. If he's playing the right type of tennis, he should get through this draw. I would love to see a Tsitsipas FAA battle again, because FAA had his number up until they met in the final, and then Felix was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm in the final." So it'll be interesting to see if he can, go back to owning Tsitsipas like he did before.
And I tell you what, that top half to me is a little heavier because you got Tsitsipas, you got Schwartzman up there, you got Dimitrov up there. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to just say I think the winner of this tournament will come from the top half of the draw, because in the bottom half, I mean, Zverev, Ruud, Raonic, Fognini, I don't really see any of them.
Well, and quietly, look out for that first rounder, Tommy Paul against Milos Raonic. That'll be interesting too.
I'm good. Yeah, that is a good matchup. That is a really good matchup.
I'm shocked that this tournament has this level of players, given that it's right before the Miami. Like you said, I'm shocked that they pulled these names.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. They probably wanted to be closer to Miami.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, that's true.
So, and then the other tournament is the one that is in Dubai.
Right.
And this is another solid list. We have top seeds are Dominic Thiem, Rublev, Shapovalov, RBA, Goffin, Karina Busta, Hachinov. Mm-hmm. And you have still like those other people like Demon Yura in there. And
I think he may have just lost. Didn't he lose?
Yeah, he did. He lost to Chardy today.
Chardy, man.
I'm trying to
keep that good eye out on him.
Right.
He is playing some good tennis these days.
Well, and I'm telling you, a match that I'm going to really look forward to is Karatsev and Daniel Evans.
Ooh, yes. That's going to be a good one.
That's going to be fire. So who do you see coming through on this one? And don't forget, we got Balashvili back.
I know, right? Exactly. Still probably trying to throw hands. I'm sorry. Anyway,
it's so easy.
It's really easy. I'm telling you, who I would want to see make it through. Okay. First of all, who I want to see play would be Karatsev versus Yannick Sinner, and they have the potential of meeting up in that quarter in the bottom half there. I want to see that matchup because I really would like to see who has the best strategy, because both of them got silly power.
Right.
I would love to see that matchup, but I still feel like Rublev's going to rebound. I feel like he will come through again. It's a 500, and he loves the 500. So I think it will be Rublev, and Thiem didn't get out the gates too well, but I kind of give him a little bit of the edge on that top half. I don't know that I see anybody else being able to take him down if he's on his game. What are you seeing?
I just have this feeling that Thiem is probably like, okay, I didn't, RBA got up on me last week. I don't have none of the big three here. Mm-hmm. I need to go ahead and stunt on these guys.
Right.
I need to stunt on them this week. So I feel like he's going to be like, okay, how many of y'all in this tournament got a major to your name?
Oh, that'd be what? Maybe none?
Right. So, okay, I'm going to have to go ahead and get this real quick. So I agree with you. But there are some great matchups that are going to be in this tournament. So people definitely check out the Dubai tournament. There are going to be good matches every day of the week. Yes. So So, Isaac, let's do this. That was a great review of the tournaments from last week and the tournaments that are coming up this upcoming week. We want to bring up some of our people to get their thoughts. But before we do that, let's go ahead and sign off of the podcast piece. Any final words that you have?
No, none that I have. Just for the folks out there, don't forget merch. I mean, you see, if you look on your screen and you see Chester there, that's a Brothers on Tennis shirt. So just saying. Outside of that, no, I don't have anything else.
Well, and we want to remind the people that are listening to this as a podcast that what you're about to miss right now is you're getting ready to miss this dynamic conversation we're going to have with the people that are in the room. And if you want to participate with us and engage and talk about tennis, please download the Locker Room app. It's available on the Apple App Store. I heard from the CEO last week that we are making very, very good progress on the Android version. So you Android folks, it's coming. We promise it's coming. So definitely get Locker Room if you can so that you can engage with Brothers on Tennis. So as always, thank you everyone for listening. This has been your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Talk to you next week.